Hello everybody. So in this video we're going to continue with Chapter 10, Statistics, specifically Section 10.2, Measures of Central Tendency. So we're going to start looking at the vocabulary. And first of all, we have the median. So the median of a set of n measurements is the value that falls in the middle position when the data are sorted in ascending order. In an histogram, the median is that middle value that divides the histogram into two equal areas. So let's say we have a simple set of data, and let's say we have 3, 5, 7. So the median would be this value in the middle. That's when we have an odd number of data. It is easy to find the median. Now, if we have an even number of data, let's say 3, 5, 7, and 10, then the median would be between 5 and 7, so 6. The mode of a set of data is the most common value among the data. It is rare that several data coincide exactly unless the variable is discrete or the measurements are reported with low precision. So if we have discrete data, then we might have a value that is the most common one, and that's called the mode. The arithmetic mean is basically the average. So it's the sum of the data divided by the number of data. Now, this is very important. When these measures are computed for a population, they are called parameters. When they are computed from a sample, they are called statistics. Okay, so here we are in example 10.2, and it says, the following are the 5 closing prices of a stock market index for the first business week in November 2018. This is a sample of size n equals 5 for the closing prices from the entire population. And the numbers are these, right? So it says, what is the average closing price for the first business week in November 2018? So the average simply means adding these and dividing by 5. So there's nothing difficult about that. But what I'm going to show you here is how to do it on your GDC. Okay, so here we are with the graphing display calculator. The first thing we need to do is go to Stat and Edit. And we have to input the values into the list, but I have some values here. So I'm going to clear that list. I do that by going to the name of the list, L1, and hitting on Clear, and then Enter. So the list is now refreshed. So once we've inserted the data in the list, we need to quit. So second key, and on mode we quit. And then from here, we go again, second key, and on top of stats, there's something that says list. So go there, and then move to the right to where it says math. And notice that you have here a bunch of options of operations you can do with lists. So you can find a minimum, a maximum, a mean, a medium, a sum, a product, standard deviation, variance. We scroll down to mean, and we hit on an enter. It takes us to the main screen. And what we do there is that we go second and 1 to indicate that we want to find the mean for list 1. So we click on enter, and there is the mean. So now let's suppose we want to find the median. So we would do the same thing. We would go to second, list, math, and then notice that median is option 4. And again, list 1. Click on enter, and there we get the median. So in the next slide, you're going to find a couple of definitions for the arithmetic mean or average of a set of n measurements or data set. If we're talking about a sample mean, then we use capital X with a line on top. So this means the mean of a sample. And it's just the sum of all the data and divided by n, where n is the sample size. This is a statistic. If it's the population mean, then we use the Greek letter mu. And it would be the exact same formula, that is adding all the data and dividing it by the population size in this case. And this is known as a parameter. So it's important to observe that you normally do not find the mean of a population mu, and thus usually you estimate it using the sample mean x. Okay, so next we have example 10.3, and it says the table lists the frequency distribution of 25 families in Lower Austria who were polled in a marketing survey to state the number of liters of milk consumed during a particular week. Construct a frequency histogram and find the modal class, median, and mean. So the modal class is, of course, the mode. Now the mode is easy to see because the value with the highest frequency is 2. So that means that most families consume 2 liters of milk per week. So we're going to use the GDC to construct the histogram. Okay, so here we are with the GDC, and let's construct the histogram. So first we need to go to Stats and Edit. And where it says List 1, we're going to input the number of liters. Then on List 2, we are going to associate each number of liters with its frequency. So once we have inputted that, we are now going to go to second scatter plot, which is on y equals. And we're going to make sure that that first plot, plot 1, is on. And also that we have the right type of graph, which is the third one for histograms. And then we're going to take a look at X. So the X list is going to be list 1, which is the number of liters. And the frequency is going to be list 2. So we're all set. Now that we're set, we can just go into Zoom and then click on number 9, which is Zoom Stat. And there's our histogram. So before we do anything else, let's go to the window and make sure that X minimum is 0. The X maximum, yeah, it's about 5, right? But we can do 6 just to have a little more space. And let's use a scale of 1. The minimum for Y can be 0, and 10 as a maximum is fine. So let's go to 10, and then here we click on Enter, and then Graph. And that's a better view of the histogram. So let's use now Trace. So notice that for 0 liters, we get a frequency of 2. Then next we get that for 1 liter, we have a frequency of 5. For 2 liters, we get a frequency of 9. Then for 3, we get 5. For 4 liters, 3. And finally, for 5 liters, we get a frequency of 1. Okay, so now let's find the median and the mean. So for that, we cannot do what we did before because this list has also a frequency, right? Remember, if we go to the table, remember that we have on list 1 the numbers of liters and on list 2 the frequency. So we have to use a different tool. You would still go to Stats, but in this case you go to Calculate and you pick option number 1, which is 1 variable stats. So you go there. And then the list is going to be L1, and list 2 is where the frequency is. And then we go down, scroll to where it says Calculate, and hit Enter. So notice that we have that X bar on top, and that X bar is the mean. So the mean is 2.2. And if we scroll down, we can find the median, MED, and the median is equal to 2. The other thing they requested was the modal class, but as we said before, the number of liters with a higher frequency is 2. So that's where we have the mode. So in the next slide, we're going to talk about the shape of the distribution. So the shape of the distribution is said to be symmetric if the observations are balanced or evenly distributed about the mean. In a symmetric distribution, the mean, the median, and the mode are equal. So you can see that there is a symmetry with respect to the mean, the median, and the mode. This is called symmetric. A positively skewed or skewed to the right distribution has a tail, as you can see here, that extends to the right in the direction of the positive values. And that happens when the mean is to the right of the median. A negatively skewed or skewed to the left distribution has a tail that extends to the left in the direction of the negative values. And this occurs when the mean is to the left of the median.